Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnerships with communities and organizations. Rural.indiana.edu. Smithville Fiber Internet Security Solutions and Voice in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Bunger and Robertson Attorneys at Law, utilizing 75 years of experience, knowledge, and resources to help individuals and families recover in personal injury matters. Information at lawbr.com. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. After years of planning and hype in the state, the once-in-a-lifetime total solar eclipse is now just a couple days away.
I think there's going to be thousands of people in the downtown campus area, thousands of people at the lakes, and thousands of people spread out at those other areas.
Ahead, we'll talk to an expert about what to expect from Monday's celestial event. It's been 1 year since a tornado tore through the small southern Indiana town of Sullivan, destroying buildings and upending families.
You had moments where tears would start pouring out, and then other times you just had to, okay, I gotta toughen up.
We visit the town to check in on recovery efforts. And we get a behind-the-scenes look at a new casino in Terre Haute that officially opens today. We'll have these stories plus the latest news from across the state right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. The first total solar eclipse in more than 1,000 years for some sections of Indiana is now only days away. Over the past month, we've brought you stories about how communities are preparing for the eclipse, where to stay, safety concerns, and visited Hopkinsville, Kentucky, the self-proclaimed Eclipseville from the last total solar eclipse in 2017. But we really haven't talked about the eclipse itself. For that, we're joined now by Greg McCauley, a former NASA employee and CEO of Grand Universe. It's a science and space campus coming to Westfield. Welcome to the show. It's nice to have you back.
Good to be here. Thank you.
So, first total solar eclipse since 1869 for southern Indiana, but for some parts of the state, it's since 957. So what makes the total eclipse so rare?
Well, in essence, they really aren't. We're going to have about over 250 total eclipses somewhere on planet Earth in the 21st century. 75% of the Earth's surface covered with water, so the majority of them are going to be out over the ocean. But to have one happen in your town, in your backyard, is extremely rare. As a matter of fact, the last time we had a total solar eclipse through central Indiana was the year 1205, when Genghis Khan ruled most of the known world. The next time this is going to happen to us here in central Indiana is going to be the year 2153. And so to have that here in our hometown, in our backyard, is extremely rare event. And so this is our only chance.
How odd is it that we even have eclipses with the moon and sun being so vastly different sizes? Is this purely coincidence?
You know, it's an odd thing. The sun is 400 times larger and 400 times further away than the moon. And because of this equal size to distance ratio, which is unique in our solar system, the sun and the moon are the same apparent diameter in the sky. And so the moon can completely cover the sun, which causes an eclipse. It's I don't know if it's coincidence, it's just the way it is. And as far as we know, the Earth and the sun and the moon are the only ones in our solar system that have that type of a ratio.
So what kind of strange things can we expect to see during the eclipse, especially those who've never experienced this before?
Well, it's a total solar eclipse. I want people to understand that last time this happened in 2017 that you had mentioned, here in central Indiana, we had 92% coverage. So it was a partial eclipse. You had to go down to Kentucky, as you said, to witness totality. That's where the actual umbra of the moon's shadow ran across the United States. And so the difference between the two, a partial and a total eclipse, are like night and day. And if I could I have a few things I jotted down here that I'll read. This blue-black shadow when you're in a total eclipse, and if you're here in central Indiana, it's a clear sky that day, this is what you'll experience. This blue-black shadow of the moon will rush upon you from the west at nearly 2,000 miles an hour. That's Mach 3. And then it suddenly envelops you in the darkness. These shimmering dark lines are going to cover the ground all around you as much as 5 minutes before the total eclipse. These strange wavering lines of light and dark will dance across the landscape. They're called shadow bands. And they're a really curious, beautiful effect, like being at the bottom of a swimming pool. During totality, animals will almost always fall silent. The birds will quit flying, and the insects will begin chirping as though it's nighttime. Temperatures could drop nearly 10 degrees and become curiously cold. Sometimes dew even forms. And along with this temperature drop, there could be a change in wind direction. For the first, the wind will die down as the moon gets closer to covering the sun. And then after the moon reaches peak coverage over the sun, the wind can start to kick back up again, often blowing in a completely different direction. The shadows made by the trees and other objects will cause this pinhole effect, and you'll see thousands of miniature eclipses everywhere in front of you on the ground.
Hey, Greg.
The colors of the sunrise will ring the horizon by 360 degrees. At this point, the moon shadow is almost 120 miles wide. And as you view this total eclipse, flames of this nuclear fire will visibly erupt like geysers on the sun's edge. The corona around the sun is this mesmerizing beauty. It's a 1,000,000-degree plasma that is electrically charged and twisted it by intense magnetic fields of the sun into this really complex array of streamers, plumes, brushes, and loops. And you'll be able to see this during totality. And as the earth around you is bathed by the strange light of the sun's corona, the grass and the trees will turn a silvery gray, the color of your clothes will change, and everything around you will change color. And with all of this, when you look up in the sky during totality for that 3.5 minutes, it looks like this jet black hole in the universe that's surrounded by this glowing ring of purple fire. And for those that experience this, remember, don't fiddle around with your camera. You've got about 3.5 minutes of this incredible event. All of these things are happening all at the same time. And you, like everyone else, will understand why the ancients thought this was the end of the world.
Greg, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Join us Monday night at 6:30 for a live special looking back at the big events of the eclipse. We'll have reports from Lake Monroe, Memorial Stadium, downtown, and more. Again, join us Monday night, 6:30, live right here on WTIU. And now, Callie Lichter is here for more headlines from across the state. Hi, Callie.
Hi, Joe. Indiana University Bloomington's Faculty Council is preparing a no-confidence vote against President Pamela Whitten and Provost Raul Srivastav. Faculty Council President Colin Johnson announced the vote will take place April 16th. A petition for the vote of no confidence garnered more than 200 signatures. It details a number of controversies in the last year, such as the potential severing of the Kinsey Institute, the cancellation of a Palestinian artist exhibition, the unusual suspension of a tenured professor, and failure to stand against Indiana's legislature. Indiana University's Faculty Board of Review says the suspension cited in the vote of no confidence violated policy. Professor Abdul Qadir Sino was suspended for 2 semesters, considered a severe punishment. The action was taken because the Palestinian Solidarity Committee held a public event without an approved room request. He was the advisor. Vice Provost Carrie Doherty issued the decision to suspend, but the Faculty Board of Review says she did not follow campus policy. A South Korean tech company plans to invest almost $4 billion to build its first U.S. semiconductor plant in Indiana. As Indiana Public Broadcasting's Violet Comer-Weiland reports, officials say it will make Indiana a leader in next-generation memory chip production.
The company, SK Hynix, is a top producer of semiconductor packaging, which contributes to technology like GPS, computers, and cell phones. Officials say these high-bandwidth memory are important to all aspects of technological growth.
Look at what we've got. We've got cell phones, we've got computers of all different sorts, we've got this amazing advance in artificial intelligence, all because of semiconductors.
Officials expect the direct investment to Indiana will create jobs and make the state a prime spot for technological advancements.
Talented people will be drawn to Indiana, not just for its great community, friendly people, and top-tier basketball, but for the intellectual growth they will find here as it becomes a hub for scientific development.
South Korea's ambassador to the United States calls the economic partnership between the two countries robust.
The plant we are here to announce will be the first major facility in the United States for large-scale HBM packaging.
The facility will be located at Purdue Research Park and is expected to create as many as 800 jobs by the end of 2030. The state is offering up to roughly $700 million in conditional incentives. For Indiana Newsdesk, with Violet Comber-Weiland, I'm Pat Bean.
Well, there are 6 Republican gubernatorial candidates on the ballot in next month's primary. Jennifer McCormick is the only Democrat running. Her main message in the race is that after 20 years of Republican control, Indiana is ready for a change. Indiana Public Broadcasting's Brandon Smith reports.
McCormick is the former state superintendent of public instruction, serving in that office as a Republican. And on education, she says there's been too much policy upheaval under GOP control.
For a fiscally conservative state, how are we okay with redesigning high school 3 of the last 5 years? Because that's not cheap. How are we okay with continuing to change the assessment?
She also wants to pause expansion of Indiana's private school voucher program, as all of the Republican candidates want to push further.
I heard a lot during the debates about how are we going to fix small towns and how are we going to give them more attention. Well, let's talk about their local schools. And when we continue to take money away from them, you continue to, strangle them.
A Democrat hasn't won a race for governor in Indiana since 2000. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Brandon Smith at the State House.
Indiana's near-total abortion ban likely violates the state's religious freedom protections, according to a ruling by the state appeals court. A group of anonymous women and the organization Hoosier Jews for Choice sued the state in 2022. They argued the abortion ban violates Indiana's Religious Freedom Restoration Act. Both the trial court and now the Indiana Court of Appeals agree with them. What that means now for Hoosiers whose religious beliefs conflict with the abortion ban is a little unclear.
If there are women who have these religious beliefs and who need an abortion because of them, I would suggest they contact us. They are members of the class that we represent all these persons now, and they should contact us and we can determine what steps to take.
While the case is not over, Falk calls the latest ruling a major victory. Monroe County wants residents to gather data on their connection speed at home to decide which areas get federal money for broadband projects. It's part of the state's Broadband Equity, Access, and Deployment program, which aims to improve broadband in every part of the state. The goal is to pinpoint areas FCC maps show to have high-speed internet access but are really underserved.
It's kind of negating any other location that maybe isn't getting that high quality internet speed that the internet providers are claiming to provide.
Anyone in the county can participate by taking 3 internet speed tests over a 3-day period and uploading screenshots of the results to the county website. Residents need to submit their screenshots by April 14th. The index rose 3 points over February due to an expected decline in interest rates, which would make it easier for farmers to lease new equipment and farm improvements. 48% of respondents say they expect a decline in interest rates in the next year. However, high input costs for items like gas and fertilizer continue to be producers' largest concern. 15% of those asked say it was a good time for large investments in farming. And Joe, that's up 11 percentage points since the start of the year.
All right, thank you so much, Callie. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. A new casino officially opens in Terre Haute today, and we get a behind-the-scenes look inside. And we visit Sullivan to see how the southern Indiana town has recovered from last year's deadly tornado. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
WTIU and PBS, through the excellence of their programming and the fact that they tell stories of local heroes, I really appreciate WTIU's commitment to bringing those kinds of stories and projects to the public. Things that challenge us to do better, to be better, to see our neighbors, to hear quality stories, and to be involved with each other to make the world a better place. And that's why it's important. Where else can you get the kind of programming to come into your house? You don't even have to leave your house to receive this kind of culture, this kind of political conversation. It's really important for each of us to step up and participate in funding those things that are important to us. So I would encourage everybody to support WTIU.
Welcome back to Indiana News Desk. The Terre Haute Casino Resort is officially open for business. As of this morning, guests 21 and older can gamble and dine in the new facility. Ethan Sandweiss and Devin Ridgway visited Wednesday for a sneak peek at the inside of the state's newest casino.
Lawmakers and Indiana's other casinos delayed licensing the project for years, but the Indiana Gaming Commission chose Kentucky Derby owner Churchill Downs to operate the site in 2021. The original proposal was for a $239 million investment, but General Manager Mike Rich says that sum has grown to over $200 million. The number of jobs there has expanded as well, from 400 to just under 600.
They understood that the overall industry in Indiana was dynamic, and there was an opportunity to bring something special to a part of the state that had no real casino gaming.
Salaries start at $15 an hour with a minimum of $22 for dealers. The floor features restaurants, bars, 36 table games, and 1,000 slot machines, as well as sports betting. The decor nods to Terre Haute's history, its historic racetrack and Coca-Cola bottling facility. Rich says he wants the Terre Haute Casino to feel like a regional resort, not just a place for gambling. Its 122-room hotel remains under construction and is set to open May 15.
By the time we open the hotel, we'll have 6 bars, 5 restaurants, the hotel, a pool, and that 10th floor bar as part of the entire concept. No one else in the state is offering those levels of amenities.
Southern Indiana has other casinos in French Lick, Evansville, Florence, and Elizabeth, 13 total in the state. Terre Haute lies just across the Illinois border, closer to many Illinois residents than other casinos in their own state.
Back in Terre Haute this morning for the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the casino. Ethan, what was it like down there?
I'm outside the Terre Haute Casino Resort, which opened its doors today after 3 years of planning and construction. Hundreds of gamers and Terre Haute residents stood in line on this cold morning to be the first guests.
1, 2, 3.
Come on, Lisa. The opening ceremony featured a ribbon cutting, live music, and speeches from local officials and representatives from Churchill Downs. Some visitors have been waiting a long time for a casino closer to home.
We don't have to leave home no more.
We're like 15 minutes away.
Yeah, we don't have to drive anywhere.
The casino is raffling off several cars today and is presenting a donation to the local St. Benedict Soup Kitchen. Terre Haute Mayor Brandon Sackbun says there's still more to figure out about this casino's place in the city, but the project is part of a bigger push to revitalize Terre Haute.
You're watching that commercial business develop on the east side of Terre Haute. We want to take that and also drive some of that tourism downtown to our downtown revitalization project. So bringing folks in, not just off the interstate, but into our community is a challenge that we're going to address.
The nearly $300 million project has drawn attention and anticipation in Terre Haute, where talk of a casino dates long before Churchill Downs' plans. A line of cars continues to spill into the already full parking lot, indicating the level of interest on opening day. I spoke with General Manager Mike Rich earlier this week, who said he anticipated over 1,000 people to come on opening day and even more on the day of the eclipse. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Ethan Sandweiss.
All right, thanks, Ethan. Well, March 31st marked the one-year anniversary of when an EF3 tornado tore through the town of Sullivan, upending lives and damaging or destroying at least 200 structures. Clayton Baumgarth spoke with those who lived through the disaster, as well as town officials, to see how Sullivan's recovery efforts are going.
It appears life is starting to return to normal in Sullivan, with new homes popping up in what was once a path of destruction. But the scars are there. In some areas, piles of debris are still present. In others, trees stand broken and bent. The biggest scars, though, remain in the minds of those who lived through the disaster.
We have a bedroom downstairs and we just go sleep downstairs. There's just days that I just have to. I can't. And I know most of it's just mind over matter, but I can't quite get past it yet, you know.
The Cole family, like others in Sullivan, lost everything last year. While sheltering in their basement, their home collapsed on top of them, leaving only a small gap for escape. When they got to the surface, they saw that everything on their farm was destroyed. The next day, volunteers started showing up to town to help everyone they could.
I think at one time we had like 6 skid steers, 3 excavators.
Over 200 people out there.
Yeah, over 200 people come help them go through stuff.
People we didn't know. Some of them we just didn't even know.
And after dealing with 9 different insurance adjusters for their home, their farm, and all their related equipment, the Coles had most items replaced or rebuilt by last October. Salvaged items that couldn't be replaced, such as photos and other mementos, went into totes, which were fully unpacked just last week, bringing back reminders of what they lived through as they head into the upcoming storm season.
It helped getting through those totes and going through the final. I think I was dreading it, and so I think that kind of helped a piece of it. But now just getting through these storms now, I think it's going to be the other part.
Sullivan's new mayor also remembers all the emotions he and other residents went through in the days immediately following the storm.
You had moments where tears would start pouring out, and then other times you just had to, okay, I got to toughen up and we got to do this job and we got to continue moving forward and getting this done and taking it one at a time.
Wilson said the town held a reflection and remembrance ceremony on the anniversary of the tornado. 3 benches at the town park were dedicated to the names of the 3 residents who died that night. The mayor was thankful to FEMA, the various congressmen and government officials, and state agencies who arrived quickly and got to work for residents.
They brought help. They brought, departments down to set up here at the city hall and made new identification cards, birth certificates, everything that you really don't think of,
Wilson says that some folks, like the Coles, are nearly back to their pre-tornado lives.
People are getting settled back in. They'll never get back to that point they were before, but they're getting close to it. But we still have those that are still out there far from being comfortable.
The Sullivan County Long-Term Recovery Coalition was formed in the months following the event to keep helping those in need. To date, they've had $1.2 million donated and helped make connections with businesses to donate furniture, lumber, and other necessary items to survivors. Today, 31 cases remain open, down from 162 in the immediate aftermath. Needs range from still need a place to live to I still have debris in my yard.
Our first and main goal is to get people back into safe, secure, and sanitary homes. Well, we want to get all that done before we come and clean up some trees out your yard. But we'll keep your case open.
Orwig says they've been able to assist in the direct rehoming of 22 cases. On 5 of those, the coalition acted as construction manager. For others, they helped residents purchase new homes. Others may have received money from FEMA or their own insurance companies to pay for the cost of recovery.
I think we've had excellent progress. I'm not satisfied because we're not done, but yet I believe that we have made tremendous strides.
By his estimate, if recovery efforts continue at the same rate as they have been, the coalition will have all remaining cases closed by July 25th of 2025.
My goal is to be done much more quickly than that, because that means we've got the people taken care of. So is that a realistic goal? I think it is.
Maybe by that time, the physical damage will be healed and the moving on can begin for those who need it most. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Clayton Baumgarth.
The coalition says a gift of 490 trees from the Arbor Day Foundation and the Indiana Department of Natural Resources will be planted throughout the town on Arbor Day. Orwig says it will help bring life back to non-residential areas that were affected by the tornado. And well, the Indiana women's basketball team didn't make it to the Final Four in Phoenix, but one Hoosier was on hand to represent the school. Senior guard Sarah Scalia won the 35th annual women's three-point shooting contest Thursday night, beating Missouri's Haley Frank 19-18 in the final round of the three-round competition. Scalia set a school record this season with 103 made three-pointers and earned first-team All-Big Ten honors. Now, she's the second Hoosier to win the contest. Alani Sinclair won the event in 2013. That's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Don't forget to join us Monday night, 6:30 for our Eclipse special. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Mallard Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnerships with communities and organizations. Rural.indiana.edu. Smithville Fiber Internet Security Solutions and Voice in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Bunger & Robertson Attorneys at Law, utilizing 75 years of experience, knowledge, and resources to help individuals and families recover in personal injury matters. Information at lawbr.com. And by WTIU members. Thank you.